Hi, everyone. Let's take a look at percents, right? A real quick introduction to percents. This is something that will be really useful for you to know. And that is that percents are a part of something, right? So it's important for us to remember that a percent, let me get writing here, a percent is a part. That's a part, usually a part of something, right? We're given some number or some amount, and we say, 20% of it, that's a part of something. If I had $100 and I said, I'm going to give you 5% of it, I'd be giving you a part of my money, right? So remember, a percent is a part. So often we can write percents as, well, as a part. We're going to write it as a percent. Let me say it like this, 25%. But there are other kinds of numbers that we have that express a part. For example, a fraction, 25% is the same as 25 over 100. That's also a part. A percent always has a denominator of 100. I could also show this part by writing 25 hundredths as a decimal. Right? That's also a way of writing 25%. Now, depending on what you're doing, you might want to work with decimals or you might want to work with a fraction, but you're never going to do math with this thing, right? This is kind of a way of talking to people or writing about numbers. When we do math, we're going to use this or this. Okay? So let me give you an example. There's always multiple ways of representing something. So often when we write, I could use the word cat. Now this looks like it was printed in a book, right? So if I'm reading, I might see cat written like this. If I'm writing, maybe in a casual way or a rough draft or on a sticky note, I might write cat like this. A little bit sloppy, but I can still read what it says. If I was being careful and maybe writing a rough draft of something or writing in a note that I wanted to impress someone with, I might write like this, a little more carefully with cursive. Now these all say the same thing, it's just three different ways of writing it, okay? This one I might see in a book. These two are the ones that I might use myself, right? So remember, percents can be written in three different ways. Only two of them are the kind that we would really use when doing math, fractions and decimals. All right, I want to show you one more thing here. I have this graph here. You might have seen it pop up earlier. This kind of shows us, for example, it's titled, What You Do When You Clean Your Room. And it says that only 5% of the time when I'm cleaning my room am I actually cleaning my room. Right? That's only part of the time, a little part. The other percent, I'm playing with my old stuff, looking through old toys and looking at old books. Right? So we can see that 95% is a large part and 5% is a small part. Okay? And that's just something to keep in mind when you're when you're working with fractions, right? What's a big part? What's a small part? And it might be worth noticing that the whole thing, right? 5% plus 95% equals 100%. So often when we talk about 100%, we're talking about the whole thing. Not just part, but if I put all the little parts together, I get the whole thing. That's 100%. Okay, great. That's a good introduction. Watch the other videos for how to work with percents.